I don't even know how to describe it. It was awful.
There's no consistency whatsoever.
You can do better. I dare you to be wilder.
It's raining outside right now, and Jacqueline has me dumping the tanks, which is always a fun experience in the rain. I don't want to get everything wet inside of the camper with some of the stuff we're going to store in there. We shall see. Wish us luck.
Good morning. It is pouring down rain, and it's been raining since something like 3 in the morning, so it is very wet outside. But regardless, we need to hitch up and we need to get out of here because we need to head up north to family for the holidays. The difficult part is that it snowed about 3 inches at my parents' house last night, and it's supposed to snow about another 2 inches or so up there again today. So we don't really mind driving in the snow, but we don't want to drive in conditions if, you know, it's really windy and snowing, things like that. So we're trying to get everything ready and then gauge for sure if we'll be okay leaving. That's just what we're doing now. Oh jeez. None of the fun footage I wanted to get happened or is happening, but that's because it's real life at the moment. So we have the slides brought in here. It is pouring down rain, and we were debating on if we should go or not because now it's supposed to be snowy and icy for the last hour of our drive, but we're gonna do it anyway because we have to get there no matter what, so whatever. We're almost done. We're just packing up the rest of the stuff. The kids are in the truck, which makes life a little bit easier. So just finish up the last few things that we got to get packed up or put into the truck, and then we'll be on our way.
Oh, it's time for Christmas. Oh, it's time for us. Oh, it's time for Christmas. Don't you know? Oh, it's time for Christmas. Oh, it's time for us. Oh, it's time for Christmas. Don't you know? 365 chances of the year.
Pulled out. Thankfully, it's not raining quite as much now as it was before, so doing like our walk around and stuff like that wasn't so bad. And it's really not that cold here, which is good because I know it's like in the 30s back in Indiana. It's like 50-something degrees here, so not too bad. But I did a final walk through of the site, make sure we didn't leave anything, make sure nothing's going on. We've also done like 6 walk-arounds around the rig because we always do that because we're always just nervous that we're going to overlook something through our checklist. So we're good, and we're gonna head out. Check all the doors. You like the snow?
It comes to say that Christmas is on its merry way, and for every single child there's a gift on Santa's sleigh. The first flake of snow.
So if you're new to like the RV world, a shakedown trip is basically when you get your rig and you take it out for the first time, or for the first time like really where you're staying in it for a long period of time, and you learn the rig, you learn about yourselves and how you work in the RV. So as you just saw, we did make it up north. We've had a little bit of fun playing in the snow. I think the kids might have enjoyed it a little bit more than we did. It's a little cold.
It's really cold.
But they had fun.
Like super cold.
Yeah. Our kids have grown up mostly in Florida and then also in Tennessee, so snow is very new to them. So let's talk about the water pressure, which I think it's actually a really good thing. Or lack thereof. I think it's actually a really good thing that the site, the campground we were at, did not have good water pressure because it taught us a lot. So what did we kind of learn that we needed to do, I guess? Yeah,
the water pressure was really low. Like, even in the shower house, really low. And so what we did is that we just went ahead and filled our tanks all the way, and we just used our water pump to pump the water in. And we had a regular, normal, water pressure to shower, to do laundry, to do dishes.
Yeah.
And
They gave us the water pressure we needed.
Yeah.
I definitely learned that there are things that I thought were going to be really useful for me that like, no, I will use that. That I'm really glad that we did this trip being stationary before we set out on the road, being really far from any sort of storage, because my KitchenAid mixer, I was like, no, I use that all the time. Yeah, I didn't even use it once, and I ordered like a $10 hand mixer.
And it's super heavy.
It's so heavy, and I found myself like this is in the way, and I know I'm just not going to use as much as I would like to. That is something I stored though, because I love my KitchenAid mixer. But it was nice because we did learn things like that okay, we thought we would use this, but we're just not going to.
Yeah, it's not practical.
So let's talk about tools for a minute. And that's yours, cause.
So in terms of tools, even like the sockets on the rig, I had a basic socket set that I'd had for years, and it had done the job for most of everything else I ever needed. And there were a few sockets on the rig that were not. You got any advice on this?
I know there was several different trips to Lowe's and Home Depot because we were unaware of a couple sizes.
Yeah, so in terms of sockets and drill bits, we kind of did some pulling out of stuff and taking out the benches and stuff.
It's like when they were building it that they just had like a big bowl of screws and all different ones, and they just like picked one. It seemed very random.
There's no consistency whatsoever. So some screws were, like I said, square, some screws were normal screws. Phillips? Yeah, I guess that one.
so some of the,
that shows the efficiency.
Okay. So like some of the screws that they used had like square bits for the screwdrivers and stuff, and we didn't have that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we had to go out and get those kind of things and different. So as far as water goes, go back to water for a little bit. We realized we use entirely too much water while doing dishes. It's not really that much water, but it just adds up very quickly. And so I'm glad we learned that so we can make some changes. So we're still learning a couple tricks for using less water with dishes. I did just see a new thing that like Dawn came out with that's supposed to be like a soap that helps you save water. It's probably a gimmick, but anyway, we are still learning how to use less water for washing dishes. We realize the importance of being level.
And especially if you're staying for a long time, for more than a night or two. Like for a weekend, you're like, whatever. You're not really in your rig that much. But when we're going to be in it, for a week, especially at one site for a week, it's super important, and you can feel it. Like
you can feel it, which is crazy.
Way more than you realize.
We weren't that unlevel when you like looked at the actual level itself, but we could feel it. So it made a big difference being like 100% accurately level. Yeah. So I would say that's definitely something.
Yeah,
and even learning how to do that.
Yeah, and we've talked about some of the ways of kind of getting to do that easier, and so we might add some stuff on later to make that easier for us.
Yeah, like you said, there's like a Level Mate Pro, a couple different options and things like that. We don't have auto leveling on our rig, so it's a learning process.
Yeah.
So the Instant Pot is something that I use a lot, even in our sticks and bricks, but I'm definitely using it a lot in our rig. But I didn't realize how much I would use an air fryer, because I thought people were being just a little bit picky and maybe a little exaggerated when they talked about how awful the oven was. I mean, I've had a gas oven before, and I was like, surely it's the same, just smaller. I don't even know how to describe it. It was awful. We used it like 1.5 times. It was so bad.
We'd even laugh almost when we would watch some of the tours of people's rigs, and they would talk about their ovens and how terrible they were and how they just used it for storage. And we thought, well, it can't really be that bad, right?
No, they're bad.
They're right.
They're bad. Right. They're not exaggerating.
They're pretty terrible. So we already knew that we needed a dehumidifier, but we didn't really realize that we would need more than one. And so that was something that we added on. We had already purchased one, but we just kind of found that our rig, it was just, we were moving it from room to room, trying to maintain this. And so we decided, let's just get another one.
That got old fast.
Yeah, they're only $20 or $30, so let's just grab a couple more.
We just have like a mini one because we didn't want it to take up much space. But yeah, we would take a shower, we would move it into the bathroom. We would have it in there for a while, but then we would have it in the kitchen area. So we actually because they're mini ones, we have 3. We have one for the bathroom that's just going to stay put in the bathroom, and then we have one for each end of the rig.
And maybe we would, if we had one big one, it might be, we only need one, but it just seems...
I thought it felt better to have smaller ones spread out so that the bedrooms would each get it. But in any case, we didn't realize that we would be purchasing more dehumidifiers.
Yeah.
We didn't realize how much reorganizing we would do.
It feels like it's constant.
Maybe that's not. It does. It feels like it's constant because it feels like we are learning, obviously, of, okay, that doesn't really work there. And so we're just learning organizational skills.
Or how we organized it at the start, and then we said, oh, this item we're never going to use, so we put it in the very back of underneath our bed. And then like that week we needed it.
Yeah, he said, hey, I think that's like under the bed, so we had to get up and get under it.
And it was the very back of the storage, so.
So basically everything that we thought on how we wanted to organize or how we wanted things to be, not everything, but a lot of things were like, oh, yeah, that's cute. But with storage, I will say something that I've learned, and I've went out and purchased, are storage systems that allow us to organize things vertically. So a lot of those stackable storage things, very useful, and I've purchased several of those already.
Because a lot of the storage is very narrow, but very tall.
Very tall, yeah.
And there's no shelves in there, and it's just weird.
So we're learning better organizational skills.
We didn't really have a hard time, I feel, purging when we were in the house. We kind of said, keep this, get rid of this, those kinds of things.
It was pretty easy.
But then even moving into the rig itself and being there for a couple weeks, it made it even easier. Because you're like, this has got to go, or...
We're like, this is the 6th time I've moved this, and we haven't even used it yet. We did launch a blog that kind of coordinates with the videos. Nothing fancy. It's pretty just chill at the moment. But there is a section that we're going to keep updated that's like lessons that we're learning so that you can learn from our mistakes. We'll put some of this stuff down there below, and I'll also put the link in there so that you can visit it. But for now, we're just up here enjoying family for the holiday. We might put out another video before we actually head out and officially launch. So there might be one between now and our actual launch video. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, we're just hanging out here enjoying the snow and the cold.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Bye.